Hi, welcome to a completely unnecessary podcast.
That was terrifying.
For Tuesday, April 7th, 2020, alongside behooded Ian Ferguson.
Howdy.
I am almost behooded Pat Contry. We're sweatshirted at least.
Sweatshirted.
On the show today, we're talking about GameStop, getting into more public health crisis shenanigans, someone suing Atari over the VCS, plus a bonus Atari casino segment. Some drama going on with Cooking Mama, and some discussions having to do with the public health crisis and retro gaming as well. Ian, how was your weekend? What did you end up doing? Did you cook any more yummy food you didn't bring to Pat?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, but I've lost track of everything that I've been cooking. What is my weekend consist of? Because that's what the time between podcasts just feels like now. Just one long weekend, and then we come back and do the podcast.
You're putting in a little bit of work.
Yeah, I am. But still, it
feels
feels
like one long week.
It's
hey, this is our chance. I said to you, we can do it. What if we did a daily podcast?
Oh my god!
And we streamed it like kind of funny. We could grow an audience.
We could.
Why not try it now, if not ever before, and talk about whatever? So you guys want to see that? Me and Ian just shoot the shit an hour a day. It's not just gaming though. We can do that dirty P word, politics.
Be anything. Lots of the dirty P word going on right now.
Entertainment. What we watch on Netflix.
Sports entertainment. Pat and I could maybe fight each other in a staged manner.
Not in this room. There's too much good stuff around here.
So what
damage my box Sega Nomad above you?
What have I been doing? I played more Animal Crossing.
Okay.
I've been playing.
Is that comforting in this time?
Yes, it really is. I've been playing a lot of PC Engine. Our friend Ryan from Castlemania sent me a one for you too, but I don't know if you use it. A SCART to HDMI converter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. It's the RetroTink SCART-Tink RetroTink 2X SCART edition is what it is.
Okay.
And that now that I'm talking about, that was given to me. So I should mention that. I wasn't not for a review. So basically, it's easy. Basically, I just put the SCART in one end and then the HDMI out the other end, and it's a line doubler. So it's not. And I'm very bad at this stuff, but this is my understanding. There's no, unlike a FrameMeister, which presents a gorgeous picture. Mm-hmm. There is a little bit of delay with a FrameMeister because it's converting the image. I guess it's upscaling it. With a line doubler, there is no, how would I say it? It's not holding anything. It's doing it live, so it eliminates all input.
So I need a SCART cable for each system.
You would need a SCART cable. Yeah, a normal RetroTink 2X doesn't use a SCART cable.
Okay,
you have one of those.
I have one of what?
A RetroTink 2X.
Where did you give that to me?
No, you have it. You got it from Ryan when we were in Portland.
I gotta find that. I have no idea where that is now. Sorry,
anyways,
Ryan. Are you sure about that? You didn't take that from me?
I'm positive. Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan. I gotta find that. I don't know where that is.
You have one. I remember that going down. Anyway,
show me what the box looks like.
There's no box. It's a board.
Okay. Yes, I have it. I've seen it. I don't know where it's been.
It's a very tiny board.
Was it in it was wrapped in bubble wrap or something? Okay.
Yes. And it came with a little case for you to make on your own.
Yes. I apologize, Ryan. I will find that. I don't know why that slipped my mind that I got that.
This one's just for SCART, so it's for it's specifically for how I have my PC Engine modified. So it's different.
That wouldn't work for me then.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
So anyway,
sorry, Ryan.
Anyway,
I do have it somewhere. I don't want to look because I almost bought one. That's right, I almost bought one at one point. So I don't want to look a gift RetroTink in the mouth. Is that a topic by the way we were supposed to add? You were supposed to add about something.
Oh yeah, we can talk about it now. Basically, about how
is it a full topic?
I don't understand. We're going to need to do a little bit more research. I don't understand enough about this stuff, but I want to. It's something that we would be talking about in a week or so.
Is it brewing?
It's a topic.
Is it brewing?
It's a brewing topic.
So we don't want to mention it right now, what it is?
No, just make sure that you're buying your stuff like your retro tinks and whatnot from
Official sources?
From retailers that are not that are paying inappropriately funding the people who make these projects.
Sure.
That's what I would say. Support the real deal. Don't go out and look for products called like Retro Scaler 2X that use the exact same marketing copy on the box as the Retro Tink, right down to the word Retro Tink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
so there's basically knockoffs.
Yeah, there's basically knockoffs of these things going on out there. Some things are open source, and obviously that's fine. There are people who pay, who sell things made from open source information, and those people get paid, or it's okay to sell that. But then there's stuff like, say, the RetroTink 2X that that's not an open source project.
Sure.
That was, I believe his name's Mike Chi. That was his, that's his baby. That's his project. And then to have something like that, kind of basically copied and, blown open in a place like China so people can, make cheap knockoffs of it.
Well, that's the risk of doing business with some of these Chinese factories.
Sure.
They don't secure the IP. But Ian, that's your homework. If you want to bring that as a topic to the full topic to the podcast.
Yeah, I wish I understood more about the actual wording and terminology, so I have to be careful not to sound like an idiot. But yeah, buy legitimate stuff from good dealers.
Speaking of buying legitimate stuff from good dealers, we got a limited t-shirt at ultimatenintendo.com.
Buy a limited t-shirt from us.
Well, the t-shirt's not limited yet. I want it to be limited. I want it to be bought.
It's legit.
Or the enamel pins, which
those are real too. Those are not bootleg.
We're inching closer to the end of the podcast because we are closing in on halfway going through the pins. We're crawling towards that.
Once those pins are sold, we're done. So
we're done. We're gonna have to change the name of the podcast, or just close up shop, or Ian gets fired.
Hurry it up.
So so we got those, and we got a certain guidebooks, and we got the Not for Resale documentary, which is doing all right. It's doing all right on Amazon as well.
I forgot to go where I was going with that whole topic, though. Sorry. I'm playing Devil's Crush like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, Ian.
I'm gonna beat Devil's Crush.
That relates to the Retro Tink knockoff?
Well, yeah, because I was the whole thing was I had set it up using the Retro Tink.
And I just swept your legs out.
We just kept going. We just kept going. Yeah. So I'm trying to beat that. That's like my, that's my one big goal during this certain health crisis, is to quote unquote beat Devil's Crush. Something I've never done before, but I've always been within the grasp of, the reach of.
By the way, real quick, cheaper shipping to Canada and Europe on the books. Check it out. Sorry, go on.
We are just fucking dropping the non sequiturs.
Yeah, we're just. Well, it's important because I got harassed by people for years about the book shipping prices. Now it's figured out, and so if you're in Norway or you're in, Ireland, Canada, it's a lot cheaper to ship it. Sorry, go on. Devil's Crush.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's a good game.
Because you brought it up 12 times on the podcast the past 7 years.
All right. Anyways,
that's like your Danny Sullivan. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania happened this past weekend.
It did, and that's that.
We'd be remiss to not talk about WrestleMania because I believe we talked about every WrestleMania we've done during the podcast. And sometimes for like 45 minutes. We had the hardcore audience that loves our wrestling talk. That hardcore 15%. The rest hate it.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say for the people who hate our wrestling talk. This is literally all I have to say about WrestleMania. I did not watch it. I imagine it must have been weird to watch some of those matches with no audience. I heard that the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match, which were both the I believe the heavily produced
scripted matches.
I heard those were actually both fairly fun.
You had NWO John Cena come out during one of he literally was like Hollywood John Cena. So they rocked that. So they were creative in a couple matches.
I heard about. I don't know what a Firefly Funhouse is or what it means.
It just means it's wacky and it's not really.
Oh, okay, got it.
Because Bray Wyatt's character, they changed into being this kids show host who changes it into the Fiend, which is the evil masked version.
Gotcha.
But he screws with everyone and does productions with puppets. And there's a Vince McMahon puppet that even said it's good shit. They put that in that. Here's the point: is that it's a shame that these people performed in front of no audience, because especially guys like Drew McIntyre worked so hard to get back to WWE, and is he wins the titles, been on a great run since he's come back the past couple of years, and do it in front of an empty. Empty. It probably still means something, but it doesn't mean the same thing. Not in front of an audience. So Vince didn't want to postpone it. I understand that because who knows in a few months if he can do it. I would have tried to postpone it personally because, it doesn't matter as much, and I had no interest in watching these matches in front of like a dark,
I don't know that I would have had any more interest in watching it, honestly, if it had a crowd. Honestly, I was probably closer to tuning in to see what it was like this year without the crowd than I was any other way.
But it would have just been like the Raw without the crowd. It wouldn't have been different.
Well, I haven't seen those either.
They're depressing.
I'm assuming they're probably depressing.
At least AEW did a cool thing a couple weeks where they actually had some of the wrestlers in the crowd.
Yeah,
and like you can hear them like betting on the matches. They worked in little angles, so it was like interesting. They had fun with it. WWE treated it like it was like a fucking mausoleum. I think they started to copy AEW stuff a little bit, but they were treating it like it was just silent and it was depressing, and so that's why I just can't do it. Like you realize how much the crowd is built into wrestling. That really showed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It really adds to it. Without it, you're like, what are you watching at that point? It's like a weird stage play.
Speaking of crowds, the championship game would have been 2 days ago, I think. Had the tournament happened, NCAA.
Oh, okay. I was like, what championship? Oh, NCAA. You're big into March Madness.
Yeah, I respect. I made note of it. Had a moment of silence.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kids.
That would have been really odd to watch too, with no audience.
Yes, but they don't play into the results quite as much as wrestling's obviously predetermined.
Sure.
So like the crowd reaction is part of the more of the drama. Even though yes, the crowd can have an effect on games, but I feel bad for all the kids that I think they talked about. Maybe with the NCAA, like these kids maybe can come back for another year. They want to prolong their eligibility because of these circumstances. Maybe if they're seniors or what have you. Yeah, it's a different world from where you come from right now with the public health crisis. Before I get into that, I finished Unreal streaming it. It was not a nice decision to play Unreal first, the single player campaign, because that was a slog and a half.
15 hours or so?
Yes, it was about 15 hours, and I wasn't the only one because there was a Let's Play I referenced. It was funny because the Let's Play was about 15 hours, and the player got confused in the same exact spots I did, and it was the same thing. Watch them walk around aimlessly for 15 minutes trying to find like the one switch that now you could hit that's the same color as the rest of the wall, or walking past a doorway that's now open. That's how the game is. And Unreal is a good game. The multiplayer is obviously brilliant in terms of the weaponry is the best of any first-person shooter, I would argue, in terms of variety and weapon balance and movement. It's one of the first-person shooters you can dodge in, things like that. You can be swift of foot, and having one of the first...
Swift of foot,
and one of the first-person shooters to really make secondary attacks of your weapons all matter. Like, you actually use your secondary attacks almost as much as your primary in them. So they really balanced them out. But great ambiance, beautiful game. Even 20 years later, it's a beautiful-looking game. The enemies are great. The music is very atmospheric and fantastic. Hard as balls because it's like a lot of the missions become fetch quests, and you get hints from the computers. It's like, okay, you have to like turn on the water valve here, but in order to get to the water valve, you have to shut off the force field to get into that room. But in order to do that, you have to get this lever. So you can get turned around extremely easily because it's not like Doom, where it's usually, well, to get to the yellow door, you guys get the red card and you go through.
What's the story behind Unreal? You're escaping from a prison ship or something?
You're on a prison ship that crash lands on a planet, yeah. and there's the peaceful Nolly people that have also been invaded by these aliens to get the triiridium crystals or what have you, which is one of the guns, and it goes from there. They're like a peaceful, loving people, and then the aliens with 4 arms, and they're cute and adorable, and there's little animals. It's funny. People are like, oh, there's No Man's Sky animals in Unreal. No. There's Unreal animals in No Man's Sky. There's like these cute 2-legged bunnies and 2-legged little dinosaur-looking creatures that are cute, and they can attack you.
Occasionally you get something that's cute in No Man's Sky, but it's completely
usually it's a horror show.
Yeah.
So the point is that if you want a challenge, and I played it on, let's see, 4 out of 6 difficulty. If you want a good challenge, play the single-player campaign. But you will tear your hair out because I was getting, I took solace in the fact that the Let's Player also had the same exact issues that I did. It was funny because I was like looking at him like, you're doing the same mistakes I did. You're going back and forth like 8 times. You don't know what the hell just happened. Like when you hit the switch, you have no idea what it just opened. You like there's not a huge amount of backtracking, but there's some. So you don't know when you should backtrack, when you shouldn't. It's very, and there's no map. There's no map. So you have to, in your head, realize, okay, where did I go back to? What did I skip that was closed before? And they fuck with you. There'll be barriers in front of entrances. You're like, oh, obviously the switch will open that. No, not always. Sometimes it's just bullshit in front of you. They'll put items behind a door that I never figure out how to like open. So watch. It's a Country Code on Twitch. Watch my impressively long playthrough in like 4 sessions of Unreal. I'm not doing the almost a DLC, well, add-on pack. I'm not doing the add-on pack campaign. I am not going through that again. Because the story is you escape the planet on a spaceship only to get captured by some like space force that sends you back down because you're the only man who could do the job to retrieve some bullshit. And they send you back alone without any help, of course, or weapons. You know, I had all the weapons, and the game takes you like you literally go through getting the weapons as slowly as humanly possible, so you don't get all 10 weapons until you're almost done. Like you get the last weapon you get in the game is a sniper rifle. You get that like 80% through the game, when you really need it like a third through the game because the game is that difficult. You know, and you need the variety of weapons. Like if without getting the flat cannon, you're in for a rough time. Because a lot of these guys, there's guys like predators that run at you if you don't have the flat cannon, and they take like 8 shots. So like you need the flat cannon, you know. So anyway, I was very frustrated by the game. Now I know why I didn't finish it in college, because I think I probably stopped after 8 hours and said this is ridiculous with that. So getting back to the real weird world.
Real weird world.
I wore a bandana out yesterday to go to the supermarket. There was a line. They're now letting only, like, I think week before it was like 50 people. Now it's like 30 people. They're really restricting the number of people in the supermarket, which is probably for the best.
Which supermarket did you go to?
Sprouts.
Sprouts or Stumps?
Sprouts. What?
Because you and Vonnie have both screwed up the name on that once before.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. No, I was just curious.
No. So anyway, everything seems, people are being respectful to each other and not, getting people's way. I am making sure I'm taking oranges from the back, and whatever orange I touch, I am taking. I am not fucking around with oranges. I've seen people still do that stuff. I'm like,
that's a problem with me that I have. It's just one of my weird tics.
Take the orange. The orange, take the orange.
And I've been better about it at the market before. Like I'll generally like check produce and stuff, and it's just a habit of mine.
Sure.
And I like picked up like a pepper and like checked it out and put it back, and I was like, no, that pepper.
That's
and that one
now.
that it touched.
Yeah, that's your pepper now.
It's like, I'll take both
you own
of
that
these.
pepper.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. I'm like, both of these are mine now. I'm taking both.
The only thing that I had to touch that was the meat thing. I wanted to make sure that the date was okay, so I tried to like use my knuckle, but that didn't work out. But you
got to cook all that anyways.
Yeah, but the outside package. Sure. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you should honestly, if you should be like, in theory, like washing the outside containers of like milk and things like that. That's where we're at. So, but I went to the dollar store afterwards because I was curious. The dollar store is essential. There's lots of food at the dollar store and things like that. The dollar store, though, surprisingly, there was only like 8 people in the dollar store.
Really?
And it was kind of depressing because obviously, if you're mainly shopping at the dollar store, you might have hit tough times or been in a bad spot. And there were a couple people like that. I don't think they were homeless. There was, though, one old lady that I felt sorry for. She was looking at the moist wipes. They did have some baby wipes there. They had baby wipes, flushable ones. I picked up a pack for an emergency, and they had tissues. No toilet paper and no paper towels, but tissues you can use for either, really, in a tight spot. So, but the old lady, I was looking at her because she was fiddling with all the moist wipes. She was touching them all, and I want to say, "What are you doing, lady? You're crazy." But then she opened one up to take out a couple to wipe her hands. And maybe she's in a rough spot. She couldn't afford it. But now she's infected, potentially, that towelette and all the ones around it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to call her out. I felt bad for her. She was probably, at rough times and older. But the dollar store rules in general, though. It rules. I got stuff like this cute little dart gun for $1, a little Nerf mini dart gun. It's not bad for $1.
Nope.
Not bad at all. It's the last one too. So I saw a young couple. Maybe they had a kid. They were shopping for toys, maybe for Easter. If you ever want to go to the dollar store for like Christmas decorations or Easter, things like that, or summer, 4th of July, party stuff at the dollar store. Like if you want to get like cups and plates and ribbons and things, go to the dollar store. Support your local dollar store. But they didn't have any rubbing alcohol. They didn't have any antibacterial. They didn't have any Lysol. They did have bleach and some cleaning, things like that. But the typical stuff was gone. Tons of frozen foods. They had their bread. There's dollar store bread that gets replaced and replenished. And they had their drinks. So I bought some stuff. I bought some little mini paintbrushes if I want to do some touch up around here during the certain public health crisis. But it was a strange experience in the dollar store. It was. I went to the teller. The teller did have a mask on but no gloves, and I said, "Hey, are they giving you guys any gloves?" And she said something like, "Yeah, that's good," or something like. She just totally ignored me and went back to looking at her phone.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, I wanted to maybe pay attention to your I was trying to be empathetic here about your public well-being. The good news is that Sprouts had everyone with face masks and gloves, and did have the they have the plexiglass up. No, they didn't have the plexiglass up there yet. Another supermarket near here has it, like almost bulletproof plexiglass up in front of the cashiers.
Yeah,
to help them a bit. So some stores are trying. We're gonna get into one in a second that's not really trying too hard, or wasn't. But anyway, that's what's going on in the world. So stay safe out there. Just obviously, if you have to, we all have to go out for food. So, just, wear your bandana or wear your mask, or, take the fruit you touch.
Take the fruit you touch, yes. Or the
milk,
veggies.
Or yogurts or whatever else.
Or the frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza?
Take it.
I've had a frozen pizza in a while.
I was thinking about maybe getting one.
Just to have one?
I like pizza.
Remember the Tombstones?
Yeah.
Were those the better ones?
I don't think there's any good frozen pizza. It's just a thing.
Did you used to make Boboli pizzas like me?
With
the unhealthiest shell in the eternity.
My friend in middle school, him and I used to make Boboli pizzas every once in a while. Is it really unhealthy?
Oh God, they're like super buttery. Like,
oh, are they?
I used to eat like the whole thing myself when I was like thick but quick pat. Like they were bad.
I'm sure
they were bad.
Doesn't surprise me, I guess.
Not that like eating like pizza shell in general, but they were like thick and buttery,
right?
In particular to make them tasty. I remember those commercials being super ethnic now looking back, like Boboli pizza shell. Oh yes, my mother make the pizza.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I should be insulted looking back and all that stuff. Looking back in all those commercials. like the original Olive Garden commercials were like that. Then they started making them more gentrified after a while, Olive Garden. Wonder how Olive Garden's doing. Whether they're doing takeout or not. How do you do takeout of unlimited breadsticks? Hey, just tell me I'll get an order of breadsticks. It's like
give me
50
20. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit in my car in the parking lot.
Give me a tub of salad. Just like pile it on in there. So we're gonna get through this together though. We're gonna provide you hopefully a fun podcast. Remember, if you're on YouTube, you can listen to us, support us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, wherever fine podcasts are streamed there. Right, Ian?
Yes.